Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Manchester police impose curfew in Greenville amid killing. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in the troubled community of Greenville, Manchester, following Tuesday's murder of a taxi operator. The curfew started at 6 p.m. on Wednesday and will end at 6 p.m. on Friday. Based on the recent spate of violent crimes in Greenville community and its environs, the Division's intelligence investigative arms have conducted inquiries, investigation, and surveillance exercises. Information so far received that the recent spate of violent crimes in the community is because of interpersonal dispute between rival gangsters, the Manchester police said in a statement. The boundaries of the curfews are as follows. Northern boundary from a section of Gabby Street and northern 1182 meters along Gabby Street Road to a section of the roadway at the Winston Jones Highway vicinity of Mytown bus stop. Eastern boundary from a section of the roadway at the Winston Jones Highway vicinity of Mytown bus stop at the eastern boundary 1867 meters along the Winston Jones Highway to the entrance of Tropics View Hotel at the southern boundary. Southern boundary from a section of the entrance of Tropics View Hotel at southern 1588 meters along an imaginary line to the intersection of Texas Street and Dunson Lane. Westerly boundary from Dunson Lane and Texas Street intersection of the southern boundary 1793 meters along an imaginary line westerly to a section of Gabby Street at the northern boundary. Persons are reminded that during the hours of the curfew, all persons within the boundaries of the curfew are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. The curfew follows Tuesday's deadly attack in the Scotstown area of Greenville, where taxi operator Gregory Sutherland, 36, was killed and his mother shot and wounded. 57-year-old man charged for murder of taxi operator found dead in his car. 57-year-old St. Andrew driver Ian Bowen has been charged for the killing of 67-year-old taxi operator whose body was found in his vehicle recently on Red Hills Road. Bowen was charged on Monday after he turned himself into the police. A court date for him is being finalized. The police say cabby Derek Burke, otherwise called Bird of Mollines Road in St. Andrew, was found dead on Red Hills Road, also in St. Andrew on Sunday, October 8. Reports from the Constant Spring Police are that about 11:10 a.m., residents stumbled upon the body and summoned the police. Upon their arrival, Burke was seen slumped over the steering wheel of his car with stab wounds to the upper body. He was assisted to hospital where he was pronounced dead. PNP supporters protesting decision to have Dayton Campbell as party standard bearer for Eastern Westmoreland. Turmoil is brewing in Eastern Westmoreland as comrades protest the move to have General Secretary of the People's National Party Dayton Campbell as the party standard bearer for the constituency. Dr. Campbell was confirmed as the party's representative for the constituency on October 2nd. The PNP stated that the other applicants did not meet the established selection threshold. More than 20 protesters claimed to be supporters of Dr. Glenville Hall told reporters that the constituency of Eastern Westmoreland will go back to the Jamaica Labour Party if they do not get to choose their candidate. If we don't get who we want on the ground, this seat is going back to the Jamaica Labour Party. We do not want Dr. Campbell here. This seat will go back green, a distraught comrade Leroy Millings billing as he hit out at the decision. Mullins argued that Dr. Campbell lost over 2,000 votes in the last general election. Dr. Campbell lost by 2,000 odd votes in St. Anne. Comrade Luther Buchanan lost by 11, and it is so unfair for a comrade leader to take Dr. Campbell in Eastern Westmoreland to run in Luther Buchanan's seat, Mullins reasoned. Another protester, Karen Hilton, argued that Dr. Campbell should return to St. Anne. Dr. Campbell must go back to St. Anne to clean up his mess because apparently he did something wrong while we lost by such a margin, she stressed. Hilton said Eastern Westmoreland wants Dr. Glenville Hall. We have our own MP who is willing and ready and is working the ground. A product from the soil of Westmoreland we're going to vote for. If we cannot get Dr. Glenville Hall, it's only fair to bring back Luther Buchanan. No Hall, no vote, Hilton proclaimed. However, Dr. Campbell, who was present at the protest, told reporters that he is not offended. I don't have a problem with persons expressing their concerns. Clearly, they were invested in supporting a candidate and naturally, they will want to know why that person is not going forward I don't take it as an offense, Dr. Campbell reasoned. Campbell is in the parish meeting and greeting people in the constituency. Campbell said once dialogues continue as to how they will meet at a decision, then there will be some normalcy. Because of how the process ended, I think there is a disconnect between some of the persons within the constituency and how we got to the decision. I think once we're able to do that, once we're able to continue to dialogue with them, we will be fine, Campbell stated. He added that he'll be residing in the parish and so he will be very accessible. In response to losing the last election, Campbell said the election in general was a bad one for the PNP and that the votes that were lost were the same across the constituency. Campbell pledged to leave the constituency better than he found it once elected and stated his plans for Eastern Westmoreland. Naturally, at the top of the list are infrastructural needs, the need for roads, potent water. There's need also for housing and land titles in some sections, employment, as the coastline, you have fishery and other agricultural endeavors, Campbell outlined. Close to $200 million allocated for dengue mitigation efforts, stated Holness. The government has allocated just under $200 million more for dengue mitigation efforts. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the funds will be used in schools, households, and communities. Mr. Holness said community cleanup campaigns will help the removal of bulky waste.
Today, I'm announcing a complementary program targeted at schools, households, and communities across the island. The first element of this program is an allocation of $70 million through the Ministry of Education and Youth to focus specifically on the cleanup of schools, and this will be done in collaboration, or rather through the NSWMA, but guided by the Ministry of Education. Madam Speaker, we have had several complaints of schools that are literally overtaken by mosquitoes, and so we're giving a strategic response with making that allocation. $70 million is not a lot, Madam Speaker, but if it is used in directed ways, in strategic ways, it can have an impact, particularly if it is used to target those schools that are most affected. The government is also announcing an allocation of $2 million per constituency for a community cleanup campaign, and this will focus on the removal of bulky waste, but we also recognize that some of the breeding grounds could be open lots, and so there might be need for some bushing to take place. We're trying not to encourage too much of that right now, but it may be necessary.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share,